Today's lesson is called Rhino Photo Goes Viral, Shows World What Extinction Looks Like. Hi everyone, my name is Jeff.
And I am Roger, and today we're going to talk about extinction, and we're also going to be talking about a photo of a rhino that might be going extinct pretty soon. So this picture of a rhino or a rhinoceros has gone viral on Twitter, so you've probably seen this picture somewhere.
So this rhino is going to go extinct, or do you mean this type or this species of rhino is going to go extinct? Because usually it's not single animals that go extinct. Yes, single animals die. Species, types of animals, they go extinct.
Right, so we're talking specifically about the northern white rhino. There may be other kinds of rhinoceros out there, but we're going to be talking specifically about this photograph of a northern white rhino. He's the last one. Once he dies, they're all gone. At least all the males are gone for now. Who knows? They might be able to clone them or something. Who knows? But in any case, we're going to be talking about this photograph that has gone viral all over the internet. And this picture shows the world what extinction looks like. So if we can see what extinction looks like, hey, we might start doing something about all the animals that are going extinct in these modern times. So let's get to it, everybody. Let's read the first part of our lesson right now.
Rhino photo goes viral, shows world what extinction looks like. A photo of the last northern white rhino male has gone viral on Twitter, reminding the world of the sadness of extinction. Want to know what extinction looks like? Daniel Schneider, a biologist, asked in the tweet. The rhino, named Sudan, is the last male of its species. He lives with the last two females on a guarded preserve in Kenya. The trio became the last of their kind, following the deaths of northern white rhinos in the Czech Republic and San Diego in 2015.
大家好，今天第一个单字我们看到的是 rhino 这个字当作名词，代表犀牛的意思。例如 Eric saw a bunch of rhinos and giraffes during his safari trip. Eric 在这趟野生之旅中看到许多犀牛和长颈鹿。接下来我们看到的单字是 biologist 这个字当作名词，它有生物学家的意思，所以我们可以说 My brother is a biologist who studies certain kinds of spiders. 我哥哥是生物学家，他研究特定种类的蜘蛛。再来我们看到的单字是 species 这个字当作名词，代表动植物的物种的意思。例如 Scientists discovered several new species of birds in this region. 科学家在这个地区发现了好几种新的鸟类物种。接下来我们看到的单字是 preserve 这个字当作名词，它有动植物等的保护区的意思。例如 John 喜欢去保护区观察各式各样的动物。英文可以这么说 John likes to go to the preserve to observe various animals. 再来我们看到的单字是 trio这个字当作名词，代表三个人、事物的组合，或是三重唱、三重奏的意思。所以我们可以说 A violin trio played beautiful music at the garden wedding. 小提琴三人组在户外婚礼中演奏出美妙的音乐。
All right, folks, what does extinction look like? Like 65 million years ago, the dinosaurs went extinct for the most part. Pretty much all the dinosaurs died out, but human beings weren't around 65 million years ago. Cameras weren't around 65 million years ago, so we don't really have an idea of what that period of time when there were mass extinctions, we have no idea what that looks like, what that period of time looks like, and we don't really have any idea what extinction looks like for the most part, but it turns out that we do now know what extinction looks like. Yes, we're going to talk about a rhino photo. We're going to talk about a rhino who, when this rhino dies, an entire species might just die out and go extinct. So yeah, very simply, very specifically, yes, this photo of this rhino that we're going to be talking about, it's going to tell us what extinction actually looks like. How about that? Anyways, yes, this photo of this rhino, it has gone viral, and it's showing us all what extinction looks like. Now, before we get started and we start reading from our article, we've got two things to talk about. First of all, we've got the word rhino. The word rhino is short for the word rhinoceros. And yes, a rhino or a rhinoceros is a big plant-eating animal from Africa or Asia that's known for being, one, really big, and also for having one or two horns on its nose. Yeah, rhinos have those horns, and that's what makes them look cool and also extremely fearsome. Now, rhinos, like I said before, are really big. Now, they aren't as big as elephants, let's say, but still, rhinos are really big. They are big enough. And yes, there are many different types of rhino, and apparently a couple of these types of rhinos are severely threatened or severely endangered. Yeah, one species, apparently, if one of these guys dies out, there won't be any more rhinos of this type. When this guy dies, there might be females left over, but if there are no dudes, if there are no guys, reproduction can't occur, so this species will definitely go extinct. Now, that's enough about going extinct. Let's talk about what it means to go viral. Here, if something goes viral, this thing becomes famous or wildly popular on the internet in a short time.
People are going to be sending you posts all the time. You won't be able to get away from these images. They're just all over the internet. This photo has gone viral. And again, this photo is showing us what extinction looks like. And we didn't know what it looked like 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs went extinct, but nowadays we can see an extinction in action. Now, here in the first part of our lesson, a photo of the last northern white rhino male has gone viral on Twitter, reminding the world of the sadness of extinction. So when you see this picture and you read the caption, this is the last northern white rhino male in the world, then you know all about extinction and you feel very, very sad. Once they're gone forever.
That's what extinction is all about. And yeah, we now have a record of what extinction actually looks like. This is the last northern white rhino male. How about that? Like I said before, there might be females of this species still around, but if there isn't a guy there, if you don't have both sexes, you can't reproduce, and therefore, yeah, the species is going to die out when one of the genders die out. So if this guy dies out, he's the last northern white male rhino. Yeah, when he dies, reproduction within the species will halt. There will be no more breeding, no more baby rhinos. So therefore, yeah, the entire species will go extinct in time. And that is not a good thing. Anyways, moving on. Let's go ahead and start reading from our article again. The second paragraph begins by saying, "Want to know what extinction looks like?" Daniel Schneider, a biologist, asked in the tweet. Well, yeah, you want to know what it looks like? It looks like this, the last of his kind. Yeah, this guy, Sudan, he is the last male of its species. How about that? So yes, that's what extinction looks like. Anyways, Daniel Schneider, it says, is a biologist. Now, what is a biologist? A biologist is a scientist who studies life. Yeah, biology is the study of life, i.e. living things. So yeah, biology is the subject. A biologist is a person who studies that subject.
Right, and of course his tweet read, "Want to know what extinction looks like? Do you want to know what extinction looks like?" This is from a tweet. That's when you post something on Twitter. It's called a tweet, or you can use tweet as a verb there. And we've also learned here that the rhino's name is Sudan, and it's the last male of its species. Some people say species. I say species. That just means different kinds of animals that can actually reproduce with each other. Species, different species of rhinoceros.
There you go. The rhino named Sudan is the last male of its species. And yes, a species is just a type of animal. Okay, a species is a group of animals that are alike and can reproduce with one another and produce viable young, i.e. young, that can then reproduce and make more babies along the line there. Anyways, more on Sudan. Sudan, he lives with the last two females on a guarded preserve in Kenya. Okay, so they don't live in Sudan there. They live in a preserve, a guarded preserve in Kenya. Now, notice that I'm not saying preserve. I'm saying preserve because here the word preserve is a noun, okay? And we're not talking about jam-like things that your mom used to make, okay? She used to make them and put them in jars, and you could spread them on bread later on. No, no, no. Here, a preserve is a large place or piece of land where wild animals are left alone and, for the most part, undisturbed. So here we've got a guarded preserve in Kenya. People take care of these rhinos because there aren't many left. There are only 3 left. How about that? So they have a preserve, this guarded area where they can be left alone so they don't get hunted to extinction. Now, earlier I mentioned that other type of preserves because Roger's mom apparently makes amazing preserves.
Yes, she did many years ago, but she's retired since then and doesn't make those preserves anymore. But again, this is a preserve, maybe like a wildlife refuge in Kenya. That's another large country in Africa. And the trio, these 3 rhinoceroses, this trio became the last of their kind following the deaths of northern white rhinos in the Czech Republic and San Diego in 2015. I assume those white rhinos in the Czech Republic and San Diego were living in zoos and were not running wild in those countries in the northern hemisphere there. But in any case, this is a trio. A trio just means a group of 3. Oftentimes you see the word trio when we talk about musicians. A jazz trio, for example, with maybe a bass player, a pianist, and a drummer.
Okay, folks, with that, it's time for us to take a short break, but don't go away. When we come back, we'll be learning more about what extinction looks like.
The species has been wiped out in the wild by hunters, as well as by wars in several African countries. Sudan, in fact, was transferred to Kenya from a zoo in the Czech Republic in hopes that he might breed more easily in his native Africa. Meanwhile, scientists are racing to find fertilization techniques that might help.
第二部分我们看到的单字是 transfer， 这个字当作动词，它有使转移、搬迁的意思。例如，我每天去工作途中要在这个车站换车。英文可以这么说 I transfer at this train station every day on my way to work. 今天最后一个单字我们看到的是 breed， 这个字当作动词，它有繁殖或是培育的意思。例如 The pandas in the zoo have successfully bred. 动物园里的熊猫成功繁殖了。
Okay, so we're talking about this particular species of rhino, the northern white rhino, and this species, or the species, has been wiped out in the wild by hunters as well as by wars in several African countries. So you cannot go on an African safari and see this species of rhino living in the wild. They no longer live outside in the wild. They have to live in zoos or in a nature preserve. So it's been wiped out. If something's wiped out, it's been totally destroyed. There are none of this species left in the wild, only in zoos.
There you go. If a species has been wiped out, it's been eliminated, or it has been made extinct. Okay, and yes, like I said before, if a species is extinct, every individual animal, plant, or organism that belonged to that species is now dead. So once the species of rhino is wiped out, once it's been made extinct, there won't be any more of these rhinos with us on planet Earth, and that's not a good thing.
Okay, so in the next sentence here it says, Sudan, in fact, was transferred to Kenya from a zoo in the Czech Republic in hopes that he might breed more easily in his native Africa. So here's Sudan. This rhinoceros was actually living in a zoo in the Czech Republic, which, of course, is in Eastern Europe. And they transferred him to Kenya. To transfer just means to move from one place to another, or you could change different positions within your job to transfer from one department to another, or you could transfer from one university to another. My brother went to the University of South Dakota, and he didn't like it there, so he transferred to Iowa State.
There you go. Very simply here, to transfer is just to move something from one place to another. They moved Sudan from the Czech Republic back to Africa. They transferred him in this way, or they transferred him from the Czech Republic to Africa, or back to Africa, I should say. Now, we also have the word breed to talk about here. Here, to breed is to make babies. Yeah, to breed is to reproduce, to procreate. I think you guys get the idea. Anyways, the next sentence says, meanwhile, scientists are racing to find fertilization techniques that might help. So maybe Sudan is getting old, so science can help him to fertilize his two female companions. Anyways, fertilize is the verb, fertilization is the noun. And yes, here, very simply, to fertilize is to make pregnant. Yes, these scientists, they are racing to find ways to fertilize these two female companions of Sudan's. They are racing to find fertilization techniques.
Yes, indeed. They're racing to find those techniques because time is not on their side. Sudan may not have much longer to live. Okay, let's move on now to the third and final portion of our lesson for today. Hey, let's listen to it first.
Schneider posted Sudan's image on Twitter, and the photo was retweeted more than 40,000 times in only a few days. Schneider also went on Tinder, a popular dating app, to raise money for research into techniques that could help save the species. However, it may be too late. Sudan was born in 1973, and the animals usually only live up to 40 years. This is the last male northern white rhino, Schneider added to his tweet. The last, never more.
Okay, folks, we're here to wrap up our article on extinction and what extinction looks like. Okay, Schneider, the biologist that we mentioned at the very beginning of our article, Schneider posted Sudan's image on Twitter, and the photo was retweeted more than 40,000 times in only a few days. And yes, Schneider also went on Tinder, a popular dating app, to raise money for research into techniques that could help save the species.
Okay, so that's what's happening there. The image circulated on the internet. It was retweeted, passed on, or reposted by lots of people in just a couple of days. And Schneider, this biologist, also went on Tinder, which is a popular dating app. Is that the one where you swipe left or swipe right or something like that if you like or dislike the person? I've never used it before. I'm a happily married man. But in any case here, he went on Tinder there, not with the intention of finding himself a girlfriend. He's quite a handsome biologist there. He has no problem finding girls in the real world. But he went on there to find dates to raise money for some research into techniques that could help save the species and could help fertilize the eggs and stuff like that. However, it may be too late, okay? He may not have any more time. They may have run out of time here because Sudan was born way back in 1973, and the animals usually only live up to 40 years. So do your addition. Sudan here is an old man, and he might be passing away anytime soon. And we don't know if he's still viable to produce children at this point.
I did the math, by the way, Roger. Sudan is living on borrowed time, which is kind of sad. Anyways, I think Schneider says it best. This is the last male northern white rhino, Schneider added to his tweet. The last, never more. Wow, how dramatic. For a second there, I thought that I was reading The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe and not a tweet by Daniel Schneider. But yes, this is a dramatic situation, so dramatic language is called for. Anyways, yes, we've got this word nevermore. Yes, nevermore is a fancy way of saying never again at any future time.
Never again. I think that poem, The Raven, begins, once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a volume of forgotten lore, etc., etc. So I think maybe here Schneider was alluding to The Raven there because nevermore is not a word that's commonly used in conversation. We'd probably just say the last forever. We're never going to see this white rhino again, this northern white rhino again, unless it can reproduce. But again, as you said, that rhino is on borrowed time, but we do wish them the best of luck. Okay, that brings us to the end of our lesson for today. Here comes our Chinese teacher.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看一下今天的文法重点。在课文第一部分有一个单字是 preserve， 那它在课文里面是当名词来表达像动植物的保护区，不过它当动词也可以用来表达维护保存。那我们就顺便来比较一下 preserve、 conserve 还有 reserve 这几个动词的用法。Preserve 当动词有维护啊、维持、保存的意思，那通常是用来表达去维持某事物它原本的样子，使它免于受到伤害啊，不会腐朽掉，不会被摧毁掉。像是我们要维护历史建筑啊，要保存某个文化传统等等，你都可以用这个字表达。Preserve 也常常用来表达去维持、保存食物的新鲜。好，再来听一下 conserve 这个字怎么用呢？它有保存、保护、节省的意思。我们常常用来指说保护自然资源，像是保护森林、保护野生动物等等。那么 conserve 也常常用来表达节约使用，像节约用电、节约用水、节约能源之类的。好，再来 reserve 它当动词有保存、保留、预约的意思。三个都有保存，可是同学们就要注意它的区别。我们这个 reserve 常常用来表达说保留某事物来以便日后可以使用，那它常也可以用来指说预定餐厅的位置啊，或者是预定飞机的位置等等。好，再补充一下 preserve 跟 reserve 这两个字当名词，它都有保护区、禁猎区、禁止打猎区域的意思。像是野生保护区啊、野生生物保护区，你可以说 a wildlife preserve 或者是 a wildlife reserve 都可以。好，接着来看到课文第二部分有一个句子，The species has been wiped out in the wild by hunters, as well as by wars in several African countries. 猎人以及非洲好几个国家的战事，让这个物种在野外遭到了灭绝。句子里面这个片语 wipe out 表示彻底消灭、全部摧毁。那它的受词可以摆在片语的后方，也可以摆在 wipe 跟 out 的之间。我们还可以用 wipe somebody out 来表达说使某人很疲惫不堪啊，某人累坏了。像是 The game completely wiped him out， 那场比赛让他累翻了。好，另外要补充的是 as well as 的意思跟用法。as well as 它可以当对等连接词来用，就表示也、以及啊，或者是而且。像文中是用 as well as 来连接 by hunters 以及 by wars in several African countries。 那如果我们要用 as well as 来连接主词的时候，同学们要注意咯，这个动词呢，它是要搭配 as well as 前面的名词。举例来说， The teacher as well as the student is looking forward to the field trip. 老师和学生都很期待这次的校外教学。那么 as well as 前面的主词是 the teacher， 所以我们才搭配的动词是 is。 好，那第二种用法呢， as well as 它是当介系词来用，这时候就相当于 besides 或者是 in addition to， 就是表示除了什么之外还有什么。那么后面是要接名词或者是动名词。例如As well as its famous pineapple cakes, the bakery also makes delicious breads and cookies. 除了知名的凤梨酥之外，这间面包店做的面包跟饼干也都很好吃，我饿了。好，不管怎么样，以上就是今天的重点整理，我们赶快来回顾今天的单字吧。
Rhino. My favorite part of our trip to the zoo was the rhino exhibition. Biologist.Amy is a biologist studying plant and animal life in the Amazon. Species. To date, over 30,000 species of fish have been identified. Preserve. The Yukon Wildlife Preserve gives visitors viewing access to many types of animals. Trio. The trio gave a great performance tonight. I definitely want to see them again.
Transfer.Dan transferred the books on his desk to the nearby shelf.
Breed. Similar to most other animals, horses breed between May and August.
Discussion starter starts now!
All right, folks, now it's time for our discussion starter. Roger, what do you think should be done to help prevent animals from going extinct?
Well, I think we should all become vegetarians. Animals all die out because we eat them and hunt them all the time. And we should stop using that folk medicine, rhino horn and stuff like that. Science has proven that that stuff just doesn't make any difference. So quit doing it. How about you?
There you go. That was the point I was going to make. It's really important, okay, to totally stop the trafficking and the movement of these weird folk medicines out of Africa and into places like China. There are actually markets for things like rhino horn, and poachers in Africa kill rhinos in Africa so that people in China can have rhino horn. Rhino horn, folks, does nothing. It's totally useless. So basically stop buying it, and maybe rhinos will rebound or make a rebound. Okay, everyone. With that, today's article is now complete. But, as always, we sure hope that you guys have enjoyed reading along with us. Anyways, I'm Jeff.
I am Roger.
See you next time.